infusion day. So this is going to be my first round, as I've talked about. So I'm kind of been up for about an hour-ish or so. A little over if you count the fact that I woke up at 4 with my dog. But I gotta get to go back to sleep for just a little bit. So we're gonna start to get ready now. At this point, I've had my first breakfast, and I say first because I'm splitting breakfast into 2 rounds. My request was never to have like a super early morning appointment. I always wanted to be able to kind of like take my time in the mornings and relax on the day of infusion before I go in. So what we've decided is that because all my appointments are supposed to be scheduled after 10, it means I get to have 2 to 3 meals before my appointment time. So today, because my appointment's at around 10 o'clock, I'll get 2 meals. I have one around 6, which is a more protein focused. I get one of my eggs. Usually I mix some avocado, sauerkraut on toast sort of ordeal. I know, it sounds weird, but trust me, it works for me. And then in a couple hours, I'll have a hearty bowl of oatmeal. So that would be my second breakfast. Though doing this, it gets the last bit of protein calories into my system before I go on to the chemo, where we don't know if I'm going to be able to consume much. And then it also puts in a hearty oat stable base in my stomach before I get my chemo. So something to help keep my stomach calm and settled and kind of keep me fueled. I will bring a snack with me to my chemo, but we're not sure if I'm going to eat it or not. It's going to be depending on how I feel. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start to get ready for myself, like do my hair and brush my teeth and that sort of deal. I have decided I am straightening my hair before I go into chemo. I just find it's easier for me to manage my straightened hair versus like my curly hair or my natural hair. Because with my natural hair, I constantly have to like pull it up or braid it. With my curly hair, I constantly have to do my overnight braid, heatless curls, and that's just like not super comfortable to me when I want to sleep and relax. Whereas my straight hair, I could pretty much just throw it up in my silk bonnet at night and go, and I could just do a quick brush and put some hair oil and I'll be fine. And I could live like that for a few days, and if I need to pull up in a ponytail, it's super easy. Also, while I'm doing this, I'm going to do another little bit of self-care by doing a gold eye mask. Sometimes I do cucumber, sometimes I'll do the gold eye, sometimes I have a hydrating one. I chose gold this morning. I have a little extra bags going because I didn't sleep well with going into my first infusion, a tad bit of anxiety. So I'm just hoping this makes my face lift up a little bit, my eyes look a little bit more open. All right, I'm not gonna straighten my hair on camera just because it takes a while, but we'll come back and I will finish going through my prep for the last bit going into the day of infusion, because it's today. Here we go. Okay, so my hair is straightened and I've also like brushed my teeth and I got changed. I'm gonna go ahead and just put on a little bit of face makeup. I'm not doing too much today because I don't want to have to deal with it later. Just the bare basics. For the chemo, I've really put into thought about how the infusion is going to go and how it's going to be at home, because I have to come home with the infusion still connected to me for 48 hours. So I'll be bringing chemo home with me. And one of the things is the struggle with clothing. Most clothing has to go over your head, and that just means you're going to have to deal with all of the IV and the pump and stuff and trying to get it all over that. So I kind of decided that any clothing I wanted to wear, I just wanted it to be able to slide straight off my body and kind of just go down, so we didn't have to pull anything up and over, worry about accidentally ripping out the port or getting tangled in wires or the pump bag itself. So what I've chosen to wear is mostly going to be rompers, and then I have tube top like undershirts. So you can't really see it here, but this is the tube top part and this is the first romper I'm wearing. I have some t-shirt ones. I have a couple more of these tank top style ones. Right now I'm just choosing to do the tank top ones because the t-shirt ones kind of cut over the port, and because it's still healing and it's under these bandages, I just thought it'd be easier to do the tank top for now, a little bit easier access. I also have a port sweatshirt, so that means it's not a pullover hoodie. This one is a zipper hoodie, but it does have port access both under the zipper, and also if I wanted to wear it all the way up, the port can still be accessed by a panel. So I have that. So all the clothes I'm wearing for when I go through the infusion is going to be clothes that are easy take off and easily just pulled up my body for put on. I also even have like a nighttime romper. It's more of like a short style romper, very comfortable, a little bit thicker material. So I got that as well. And again, it's just to make it so that like I don't have to worry about trying to pull anything off over my head while I am wearing the port here at home for the next 48 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of face care and kind of talk about like the type of infusion I'm doing and some of the things that we're like expecting to run into. So physically, there isn't much that my body can actually undergo on this chemo initially. Some fatigue, some possible dry hands, temporary neuropathy are all possible side effects that my body can undergo, specifically in my hands and my feet, and in, believe it or not, my throat. So the FOLFOX, which is the chemotherapy I'm taking, is two parts. The first part is a mixture that is in an IV bag done at the infusion center. My time frame for this first round is going to be approximately 4 hours, with the infusion itself being somewhere between 2 to 3 on the drip, plus an hour of education for getting set up and also getting educated on the pump I'm taking home. The pump I'm taking home is filled with the second half of it, which is called 5FU. And if you were like me, as soon as the pharmacist said, I'm on 5FU, I like broke down laughing, giggling, because it's literally like FU cancer. Of course, the pharmacist was a little taken back. You don't usually giggle when you hear, I guess, your cancer meds. I do. So you take that home. Both sets of these cancer meds for the chemotherapy do have the side effect of neuropathy in the throat, and that can trigger what's called an esophageal spasm, where I can actually end up choking on the food if it's not of a certain temperature. Usually it's cold. The neuropathy we get from this chemotherapy is not response to warm weather or warm temperatures, it's response to cold. So everything I drink, everything I consume can only be room temperature or warmer, nothing colder. Now, this is going to be a little contradictory because I'm also going to be doing cold caps and neuropathy gloves from the beginning. So neuropathy gloves are things that go on your hands and your feet, and they actually help your body kind of like numb those nerves and allow them to kind of sense out. So that way, when you take them off, the neuropathy shouldn't be as extreme. So it's kind of nice in that sense, I guess. Like, they're supposed to work. However, they are an ice pack, essentially. Now, I've chosen not to use my neuropathy gloves from the freezer. So I know a lot of people I've talked to who've had friends or family go through cancer, or they themselves have been through cancer treatments with chemotherapy, and their chemotherapy was a lot more extreme because, one, it was back for most of them early 2000s, late 90s, and chemotherapy's hugely improved since then. But they also, when they experienced it, they put their neuropathy gloves, so their cold packs, in the freezer. I don't know if it's supposed to be better that way or if it does end up resulting better. However, just for my first round, I've decided not to put them in the freezer. I've actually decided to go ahead and put them in the fridge. Just because I don't know the level of cold I'm actually going to be even able to tolerate. The goal is again, we're just essentially trying to numb the nerves and adjust them so that way I'm not so bugged by the neuropathy. I'll also be doing a cold cap, of course. I'm not supposed to have a huge amount of hair loss. I should just experience minor hair loss. But cold caps, things like scalp treatments, certain hair oils, preparing my hair certain ways, can help my hair actually not fall out, hopefully at all, or keep my hair loss to the most minimum level I possibly can, which is important for me because I do have a lot of hair and I like my hair and it's long and it's thick and I don't want to lose that. So I have a cold cap for that. Otherwise, physically, I'm not too worried about too many things when it comes to like regards to like my body and functioning. Of course, I've said like there is going to be some nausea. Like, there's no way you can not have nausea on this, but they've given me enough nausea meds that I think I'm hoping that it's kind of at a minimum. And when I was on the chemo pills earlier, I actually experienced absolutely no nausea. And so I'm really kind of hoping that my body just responds to the chemo with a very moderate sort of nausea feeling. I don't want to be vomiting. I don't want to be like feeling constantly sick where I can't put food in my body, or I'm like just the bare minimum at least. but we don't know yet, and we'll see. But they gave me enough nausea pills. I have 3 of them I'll be taking, um, which I didn't know you took 3. I thought it was like, oh, you get one type of nausea pill and that's it. No, there's 3 nausea pills. I take 1 with breakfast, so that will be taken around. The goal is that I could get at least some oatmeal down around 6 a.m. when the dogs are eating their breakfast, because that's when this whole household wakes up. My parents, my husband, all work and are all pretty much working from home during this first infusion. So they're going to be up usually between 5 and 6 with the dogs, and they'll be feeding them that sort of deal. So the plan is, again, between 6 and like 6:30, I will have breakfast and I'll take my first round of nausea meds. At 8 a.m., I'll take my second round of a nausea med. That works in conjunction with the first one. And then I'll be done with nausea meds till the evening. Now, throughout the day, once those 2 are in my system, they should work really well and manage my nausea, which is the hope. And then in the evening, around like 6:30, I end up having to take another round of meds, but it's not nausea meds in this case. At this point in time, it's my blood pressure pills and my beta blocker. So in a previous video, I talked about how I had, my mom had a aneurysm burst, and I actually have afterwards I found out I have an descending aortic aneurysm. So one of the things that I'm on, along with high blood pressure meds to help mitigate that from getting worse, is a beta blocker, to help control my heart rate and to make sure we're never putting too much pressure on my aorta. So I take those at 6:30, around the time I'll usually be eating dinner. And then at 8 o'clock, I take another round of nausea meds, so 8 p.m. at night. And then finally, I take my last round of nausea medication right before bed. The one that's right before bed is actually probably going to be like my favorite one, because where the others don't make you drowsy, this one is supposed to make you crazy drowsy. Like, some people struggle to actually, like, it's almost like a sleeping med for some people, at least according to my oncology pharmacist. So I'm a little excited for that one, because to be honest, I was really worried about the sleep factor. I even have my husband currently setting up the PlayStation 5 downstairs, so that way whoever's down there with me can just watch me play Harry Potter Legacy, because that is a goal of mine to finally finish that game. I've literally been trying for years. I think since it's come out, literally since its release date, and I've had to restart the game twice because I always get distracted with work or stresses of life, and I can't ever finish it. So that will be, I have him setting up thinking that, oh, I'm not gonna be able to really sleep at night. Well, hopefully with this med, I will be able to sleep at night. That is the goal. So that's kind of what we're looking at for this infusion for the first round. Going into this morning at around 10 o'clock to go ahead and get the first round through the IV or through my port with the IV bag on site with the pharmacists and nurses all there in our infusion center, and then the rest comes home. And then the next 48 hours from there, we'll see what happens. We'll see what symptoms I get. We're going to be tracking it, and we're going to just kind of keep pace. I'll still be filming and posting videos during that time, trying to keep everyone updated, but also trying just to, share, like I said, share the story, share the path, what works, what doesn't, what did we do that seemed to really help me, what's not working at all, and if everything goes according to plan, not too bad on nausea. Really, really hoping to not be bad on nausea. So yeah, that's kind of it at this point. Right now it's about 2 hours away and I've pretty much finished getting ready, which means I actually have time to just kind of go relax. I'm going to journal. I'm going to go bring some stuff downstairs from the bathroom now that I am done with getting ready up here. And then I will see you all when I'm actually done with my first infusion. I'm not going to actually film while I'm in the infusion center. I might take some photos and just kind of like do a narrative over it for you all, but probably not going to actually film while I'm in there. Mine is not a private room. I am in a group setting, so I don't think everyone's going to be appreciative if I have filming going on. But this is, here we go. This is it. Okay, I will see you after my first infusion. Hi, and good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the infusion day in the hospital. It actually ended up going pretty well.
I have some like I think I have like one picture of me in the infusion room, and then I have a short video of me walking into it. But like I said before, I'm not really going to film while I'm there because it's a very open public space. There isn't a lot of privacy. It's just kind of curtains if you want privacy, and it's just a little awkward. Um, but it went really well. The port went in really nice and easily. And so far, responsive wise to what happened there, I didn't have a lot of the symptoms we thought we were going to experience. And they were really worried about the neuropathy setting in. So they were cautious. It didn't really kick in at all while I was there, which is nice. I almost had no nausea between all the nausea meds they gave me. And they're kind of thinking it would be that way, especially since I didn't actually get any nausea on the chemo pills that I was taking. So that was a really good thing. So I'm back home, and as you can tell, we are technically on day 2, and I have one more day after this. So I go in Thursday to get this all taken out, but I'm still hooked up to my port because part of my medication is going to be in this round ball. And in here, it does a pressurized system where it releases just enough pressure to release 5 milliliters an hour into my body of the second round of chemo, which is 5FU. So it's in this thing. So about every hour it goes down, it gets a little smaller. It's significantly smaller since yesterday, which is good. So that means we're on task and on time and it's not leaking and we have no issues. I carry it around in a little fanny pack with me. It's actually not too cumbersome, surprisingly, on my system to do this. I've been able to change and function and walk around. I will admit it's a little annoying when I'm sitting in my chair like right now. So I just usually take it off my body and I just plop it right into my lap and it stays there. This hasn't had too many issues. It does somewhat pull a bit every once in a while, but not like pulling out. It's more like the tape pulling on my skin around it. The port itself is very stable. So it's been really good. When I came home, so let's talk about what happened when I came home from the infusion center. That's when my first round of symptoms sort of kicked in. It was just severe fatigue. And it wasn't really from the chemo itself as so much from one of my nausea meds. One of my nausea meds is um, makes you very drowsy and sleepy, and you're only supposed to take it at night, like right before bed, for that reason. And because I took it in the beginning, I had some drowsiness for a couple hours, but by the time I got home, I was ready to pass out, and I pretty much slept the entire afternoon away, which is really nice. It was nice to sleep. And then I was up for about 4 hours, just long enough to get some food in me and to do a few things, like get ready for bed and that sort of deal. And then, yeah, after that, it was just straight to sleep for me and passed out for pretty much the whole night. Woke up around 5 with the dogs like normal. And yeah, so now we've been here. I've been up. I think I officially finally got out of the chair like around 6 a.m. 6:30, had my first round of pills, ate some food, had another round of pills, and now I'm just kind of relaxing. I've been up and watering for about a good 90 minutes and I just started to feel tired. So I thought while we are here, I'll get started on a little activity, things just to make life a little bit easier and less boring when I'm sitting here relaxing. Today I'm building Legos. These ones my lovely sister-in-law got for me during Christmas, and she knows I love building Legos, and with my husband being severely allergic to all flowers, this is how we kind of do our flowers in our house. It's Lego flowers. They last forever, and it's fun building them. We both enjoy it. So I'm going to be working on some of this for the day just to relax and calm down. Going into the second day with the 5FU, still mild on the neuropathy. It doesn't really bug me. It's like in my nail beds, but that's it. And then from there, it hasn't been like too bad. We do have some cases where it's been kind of just like tingly, like when your fingers fall asleep and you wake up and you kind of feel like that prickling. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It's honestly not that bad. I don't think, at least in my opinion, it's not. I've seen it way worse in other cases, like where they talk about how severely painful it is. I don't think it's that bad for me. Maybe I just have a higher pain tolerance. It's not something I'm exactly feeling a whole lot of. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's tingly. And that's kind of it. So it's been kind of nice on that front. I do have, I haven't tested my feet yet on it because my toes just haven't been exposed. And the biggest case where I'm getting it is from water. So like if it's like cold water or something, I tend to get it from there, but that's it. One that goes on this side. Oh, sorry, Legos, this is what happens when I get started. And one goes on the goes on the other side. Okay. And then it's been pretty easy from there. We haven't had much, like I said, not many issues, not really too bad at all. So it's been great. Loving it. I do have some in my mouth and my throat. It's like right along my gum lines. I've noticed like on the back of my jaw here, if I chew anything that's a slightly bit cold, it does kind of seize my jaw just a little bit. So normally what I've been doing now is like if I feel like it's cold on the top of my tongue, I chew it up front away from my jaw and then I bring it to backwards afterwards, to the back side of my jaw, like right about here. Um, and then it tends to smooth out and it's a little bit easier. Um, we definitely know that with the colder water, it does start to seize and you feel it, you're like, ooh, ooh. So we've discovered that if we do in my hydro flask, if it fills up to here with about cool water, we can fill up the rest of the way with hot water and then mix it up and it comes like the right temperature for me to drink from without any issues. And it's still not super hot and it's not like tea, it's doable. It's not uncomfortable water or weird water to me. So it works really well. And I also have been drinking lots of tea, of course. Tazo ginger green is a really good one for me that I've been drinking like mid-afternoon. One, it gives me a little bit of an energy boost, and two, the ginger is really soothing on my system. And it is a low caffeinated version of green tea, so it is something you could have in the afternoon without having to worry about having those late nights with all that extra caffeine. Other than that, it's been lemon, ginger, or peppermint. I carry it in my Story coffee mug. If you are ever in the Bay Area, look Story Coffee up. They're amazing. Our favorite place to go. But we got this when we were there last time, and it keeps my tea a really nice warm temperature for a really long time, and I could just sip on it as I go, and I never have to reheat it. So that's been that. Nausea is still down. Haven't really had any of the other issues yet. We're going to keep monitoring me, of course. But so far, it seems pretty good, and I'm really happy about that. So, yeah, for the rest of this day, I'm just going to kind of chill and relax. And we'll see how the tomorrow goes when my infusion comes to an end and they remove all of this for me. We're going to go in and we're actually going to, my mom and my husband will be trained on the removal of this. The nurses will do it the first couple times to train them. And then after that, we could start removing it ourselves from home and do the care there. And then we just drop everything back off when we go back in. So yeah, we're kind of just chugging along right now. And it's been pretty good. I've actually, like I said, it's not been too bad. So yeah. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Really kind of feeling lucky right now because I know other people have it a lot harder than I do. They have really bad symptoms. So I'm hoping I could stay this way, and we'll see. Um, like always, if any of you found things that really help you relax and really help you heal during this process, because it is a healing process and it is learning to survive within it, feel free to post it in the comments right now because, you know, we're all looking for help and what helps you could really help the rest of us. Okay, so I guess I will see you guys tomorrow for the post removal. I'm going to see if I could get some pictures of it for when we remove it and we talk about that process then. Awesome. Bye.
Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. So, we are day 4. So, this is actually the day after my chemo first session ended. Yesterday, I was feeling super tired, so I didn't actually film a whole lot. I got some pictures going in and pictures like pre and post of getting my first round infusions removed from my port. Um, so, kind of wanted to talk about like that whole process, and I'm hoping at some point I can actually do like an in-depth like video of it when we're doing it here. Um, for the first 2 rounds of my chemo, we'll be assisted in the removing of the chemo IV that we take home. After that, we're hoping we could just do it ourselves from here. They do allow that. So my husband and my mom went to the training for the first time, and we'll do a second round training again on my next round of chemo. Um, I'm really kind of excited about that because it means it's one less visit to the doctor's office in a single week. But at the same time, it is a little nerve wracking. I'm really hoping my husband and my mom can do it very well. I'm not great with needles, so it's always a little nervous when someone's doing something for the first time. Um, but it went really well. Um, I feel kind of weird coming on here and talking about the chemo because I feel like I should have had more symptoms than I did, or maybe we just prepped really well. I can't know for sure. We'll see as it goes on. But my nausea was really low the whole time. The only reason why I got super tired is because one of the nausea pills they give us is designed to make us tired. It's supposed to help us sleep and recover. Um, and so I always got really fatigued from that. Like yesterday, I think I slept a total of like 10 or 12 hours in a single day, something I rarely ever do. And then even today, like I didn't wake up till almost 9:30 and get out of bed until then, which is super late for me, especially because with two dogs, I'm usually up around like 5 o'clock with them. Um, but I think that's geared towards the nausea med I was on. That wasn't itself from chemo. Maybe chemo slightly impacted it. But when I wasn't on that nausea med or once it was flushed out of my system, I always had energy and I was able to function. Outside of that, I just had some mild neuropathy. I had none of the other symptoms they listed that I could possibly get, which is makes me super happy. And I'm hoping that's because of the prep I did before, having just to come back and relax and knowing that everything was all organized and set, all the food was done, we could just grab and go and heat up food, and I didn't have to really worry about anything. Just allowed me to focus on me, um, which I'm hoping contributed to it. Again, I won't know probably till the second round of chemo, which is going to be interesting to see as the chemo starts compounding in my body and we get more and more in it, how my side effects are going to change. Um, I did get it out. Sorry, God, I love dogs. So there they go, they're not outside. So the first round went really well. They ended up cleaning and taking off all the sterile patches. So now we're just dealing with some of the new skin here, still peeling, but all of it healed up really well and it looks really great. So I'm really happy about that. Um, Sorry, dog again, very hyperactive Pomeranian. Um, but it looks really good. It healed up really nicely. I'm able to actually fully shower now. So like nice long showers, which is good because I haven't been able to take one. So I took one last night and that just really helped relax my body more. Today, as of right now, I'm still taking one nausea med, my Solfran, and I'm only doing that as a precaution for this first day. We're just seeing how my body is still responding because chemo's still in my body on day 4. It takes up to about day 7 for the chemo to actually be almost out of your body. And then you're looking at like day 10 being the first day of full no chemo. And this is when your body's recovery is really going to start kicking in. So I'm still taking Zolfran today just as a precaution. But so far, I haven't actually had many symptoms. In fact, the neuropathy is already dissipating from my fingertips. And I haven't really experienced it in my mouth this morning, which is great. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of weird. I've just been kind of talking to you guys about this and sharing my experiences. I haven't been showing much because it's kind of just personal and private to show some of these things while you're going through it. But I'm really surprised by how well my body handled it and the low amount of symptoms I had from the chemotherapy and the pills. I'm actually kind of happy about it. Um, I feel like that's kind of it. Like I said, like it's really weird that I'm filming this. I thought I would have a lot more to share, and there's a lot of things. I think the big thing is just being prepared, going in with food set, not worrying about where I'm sleeping, having that whole area set up for me, having things to do. It really just helped ease my mind and ease my body and be able to handle taking that chemo the first round. Definitely going to keep up some of the preparing things like the self care, the dates, all those things I still want to do. I felt like that really did help me. And also what we are calling protein front loading. So the day before my chemo, I ate like 2 eggs and some fish. I really loaded my protein this week up front, meaning I only get one more egg this week, which will probably be tomorrow. Um, but it's one of those things like by front loading it up, we're actually supplying my body with the proteins and nutrients it needs that I'm not necessarily going to be able to consume. The food I did consume during this was super basic: potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, some avocado, basic soups that were really easily blended with like tofu or, again, some potato and veggies, and really just kept it super simple. And I think that really helped me be able to eat more because my system wasn't trying to override. And I didn't get any funky tasting yet, which is great. Really hoping that's one of the symptoms I never develop, but we don't know. Um, but yeah, I feel like this round went way better than I was expecting. And it is a little bit of a relief for me going into the next round. I'm nervous for the next round again, just to see if things change. But if this is a sign for future rounds, I think it's going to be quite manageable for me, maybe even some functioning. Um, but yeah, so far so good, and we're going to keep it up, and we're going to keep positivity, and we're going to keep going. Um, and hopefully see where this path takes us, because that was super unexpected in my opinion. Totally thought it was going to be way worse. But at the same time, that's great to know. So thank you for tuning in. Again, I know this is kind of like a boring video. It's just me talking about my infusion and what I'm going through. But I'm hoping, again, by sharing this with you all, we can start building a community and help each other and share things that work and don't work. All right. So thanks. And I will see you in our next vlog.